Welcome everybody to 12.3's Zoho School number 20.33. 33 episodes this year. We don't stop for anything. Today's topic is Zoho Survey. And we'll go over the results of our little survey yesterday. Zoho Survey is kind of, it's a survey tool like SurveyMonkey or something. A couple things about surveys. You might think, well, we don't really do that here in our business. But there's some uses for it. The first one is a lot of people do send out newsletters using Zoho campaigns or using MailChimp or Constant Contact or something. And those, if you get a 30-40% delivery rate, you're probably doing really, really well. It's really hard to send out mass emails and get through or get everyone's attention. I find if you send out a survey, it does a little better. I don't know why. I think the spam filters out there don't mind a survey. I also think customers accept them better. And what I mean by that is that the dynamic of an email newsletter is you're doing all the talking and the customer is being passive. They've got to just read it. But a survey actually opens up kind of a dialogue. You're asking customers, what do you think? Or what do you need? What do you want? And it's their chance to talk to you and respond. And of course, people like to offer their ideas quite often. They don't always want to be passive. So generally emails, you're selling, you want them to listen and read it, but maybe they don't want to. But a survey is a little bit different. It's asking people for their opinion. So it's a good way to engage customers, and you might want to consider it. I think it has higher deliverability, and you can learn a little bit. It's the old, 2 ears, 1 mouth thing, right? So I have shared up here our demo system. I've already turned on Survey, but just real quick for the purposes of this session, I will show you how to turn on Survey. If you're the Zoho One administrator, you log into Zoho One, you go to the admin panel. Then you go to Applications, find Survey, and add it. We'll walk through that real quick. Here it's already added, so we're just going to pretend. There's a list of all the applications we have turned on. You can come down here, and Survey is turned on for one person. You don't have to give it to everyone if you don't want everyone sending out surveys. If you don't see Survey listed here, you go up to the Add Applications button, and all of the apps that you have not yet turned on that are available to you in the Zoho One subscription will be here, and you just hit Add. When you add it, they'll ask you, who do you want to give it to? And you can list out your users. And you can also choose, I'll just click on that. I'll close this. We'll go back to Survey. There's one user, but I can assign more users. And we only have one other user in our demo system here, standard user. Usually you can give them what departments and what role you want to give them. So you can have different departments. So you might send out marketing surveys or engineering surveys. We'll talk about that in a minute. We just have the one department here. And then we can have roles just like in other Zoho products. You might not want to give everyone full admin rights. You might want to just let them look at surveys or create surveys. So that's how you add it to the system. The next thing I want to show you how to do, we'll actually click on it and open it up. If I go to my user homepage, all the apps that have been turned on for me are shown here. And there's Survey. So looks like Stephen took an exam on Survey. This is our little play area, but these are surveys we've taken. Again, this is the demo area. We'll create a survey. Pretty simple. Survey name, Z-School. We're not going to really create one. I just want to show you what the process looks like. We can create one from scratch. There's categories here, and you can create these. We can call it, a marketing survey. We can also have templates, or I can copy an existing survey, just like an email newsletter. I'll show you the templates real quick. There are some really involved ones here, like new product feedback survey or something, and well, that's only got 8 questions. And if you want to preview it, it looks like this. We'll talk about the different types of questions. So you can have matrix type things, star ratings. You saw some of those yesterday. I had you upload pictures. You can have a radio button where only one thing can be on. Then you can just have text areas for essay questions. It all depends on how you want to get your answers. There's also across the top different devices, so you can see what your survey looks like on a phone or a tablet, and the phone can be landscape or portrait mode. So I can use this template, or we can create a template from scratch. And they have a bunch of templates in here. So, employee performance survey and 13 questions. We're going to create one from scratch, I think. So I'll just put it here, call it Z School Marketing, and we'll create it. It's totally blank. Now, the art of surveying people. I actually went 30 years ago. I went to Duke University for a week, take a week-long class on how to do surveys, and I learned a lot. There's a science to it. I hate to say this, but you can almost design a survey to get the results you want. But we looked at a lot of different surveys, good and bad. You can have forced distribution. Sometimes you ask people to rate me 1 to 10, and somebody gives you a 10, somebody else gives you a 2, and it's really because it's kind of a subjective thing, right? One person's 10 is not another person's 10, and I can tell you when I was in the military, we had to rate everyone in our company. They had this like leadership thing, and I couldn't give everyone all 10s. As much as I might have liked everybody in the company, we were forced to only give so many 10s, and I had to hand out some 0s. We had to give 2 0s. It was forced. So there's a lot of ways of asking questions. You might say, well, the easy thing is I'll just give everybody all 10s and then everybody's happy. But you can force people to say, no, you need to do this. And so we have all these different kinds of questions, and it gets very scientific as to how you want to ask a question. I'll give you another example that came from this class I took. The city of, I think it was Edmonton, sent out a survey to all the residents, and they said, what do you want? And everybody said, well, we want better roads, more police, more parks. You ask them, would you like more police? They say yes. Would you like more parks? They say yes. And the thing is, you should have said, like, okay, here's $1 million. Where would you put it? Would you pay for policemen if it cost you this much? Or like they also showed us how airlines, people complain about like the food on an airplane. But most of us say, you know what, if you have $1, put it into safety, get me there in one piece and don't lose my luggage. And we don't really care about the food. And that's kind of why the food on airlines is what it is. We'd rather everybody agrees you want to put it into the equipment. So I saw another survey that said, it was something Kentucky Fried Chicken did, and they surveyed all of their customers. When you were in the store, you had to take a little survey. And that's kind of a silly survey too, because you might want to ask all the people at Burger King, why aren't you at Kentucky Fried Chicken? You're asking people who are already there, who obviously like you. So there's a lot of science to surveying. But let's assume we know what you're doing. You know what all these different things are. There's, a slider scale question. So I'll just put that over here and say, how are we doing? And again, this would be kind of subjective, right? Because some people might give you a 5 and others will give you a 10. It could mean the same thing. It's 0 to 100. I could click on this. I think under the advanced options, I could change this to 5. So you could put label, like 0 is bad, fair, right? And there's other questions here. Oh, we have chat questions. I will have, can survey results be downloaded in Excel file? Yes, somewhat. Like if you're asking someone for a picture, not as well. Can they include images? Yes. Meaning, can the answer to a question be an image attachment? Yes. So I believe it's file upload. So I can say, send us a picture. And then again, I'll save that. I do want to show you now another really cool feature is I'm going to ask a yes, no question, which I believe is somewhere in here. If not, we'll make one. All right, we'll do a drop down. Do you like Zoho? And the answer, I'll say yes. You just put your answers in here. No, sometimes. So this is and then the other is where customer, we're going to let them put something in, So those are my choices. And then I might want to add a question, like if they say no, I want a long answer, which is a large text area. And I'll say, so if they say no, I might want to say why not. And then I'm going to want to put logic in my survey here to say, display this question if a certain condition is met. And the condition is, do you like Zoho is no. And so this question will only appear if you say no to this. We have other type questions like ranking, so we'll say, list your coworkers by intelligence. And Bob's laughing. Bob, I won't use real names here. We'll Fred, Joe, Mary. Okay, so this is a ranking question. And again, now we can now preview this and see how we like it. Go to preview. We'll preview here on the web. So here's how are we doing. We're between fair and bad. Send us a picture. I choose a file. I'm going to go to my pictures. There's a picture of a cool guy. We'll just send that. Do you like Zoho? You'll see if I say no, why not popped up. If I say yes, it goes away. So that's the conditional branching of questions. And then we have this ranking field. And so I'll say Bob is the most intelligent, but Fred is fourth. And we'll leave Mary and Joe where they are. So this is just a preview. I can then submit, and then there's a little thank you. And I'll close this. We can go back and continue building it. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. The way to get good at this is not to listen to me, but to actually play with it and build them. I'm going to show you a couple things. There's a themes button. You can build your own themes. We're on the basic theme here, but we can just pick the indigo theme, and now everything's blue. You can also build your own theme right here using your own company colors. We'll go to settings here. I'm not even sure what's in here. So there was a survey end page. That was the one that was Zoho Survey's thank you page. You might want to take them to your website. There's a disqualification page, which is, you didn't answer enough questions or something. We could put headers and footers on the page. So that's settings and themes. under Hub is where we integrate Survey to these 4 programs. And so we would integrate it to CRM. And I did that on the one I sent you yesterday. I haven't, but I can integrate this survey to a contact or to a lead. And then I can say, if somebody takes this survey, do I want them to add themselves to CRM? You might send them a survey like for a new customer. They're not even in your CRM system. They hit your website, and then you want to immediately send them a survey. Or I can update an existing record in CRM, or I can do both. And then depending on how you've set up your module, I picked contacts. We have 2 required fields. The ID status is required and the last name. So I actually have to ask those questions. In other words, if I'm going to add a record in CRM, I can't add it unless these 2 fields exist. So I've got to ask, you've got to kind of be a little careful. If you've got 10 fields required to put a contact into CRM, you're going to have to ask those 10 things in the survey. I think if I say update a record, the little red stars go away. I don't need to have them because the record's already in CRM. I can also attach that picture as an attachment in CRM. And I did that, and I'll show you what that looks like. So this is how you integrate it to CRM. I could also integrate it to, there's Google and Google Sheets. There's also workflows. So if someone, say someone answers a question and they say they don't like you, you might want to send an email to the record owner saying, hey, this guy doesn't like us. And, it's your record, Bob. So, you need to know this. You can also launch webhooks and trigger an email saying, here's a coupon or something. And, so there is some automation behind this. There's also some scoring. We can score their answers and give points. I got to remember how to do that. But if they answer, you might want to ask them, what's your budget for advertising? How many trade shows a year do you do? And if they answer questions in the right way, you might say, this person scores high, the way we want to measure them. So we could trigger something to happen because this is a high scoring survey. And then you finally launch the survey, and the survey, you just publish it, and it now is sitting out on the web. It has a very short little URL, and I got to find it here somewhere. There, online. This is it. So you can embed this in an email, which is what I did yesterday. We can access it and copy it, put it on Facebook. So you can just say, hey, take our survey, and they could be putting themselves into your CRM system as a lead and actually populating their record. I mean, if you want to ask them their name and their address and their phone number and their email address, and they want to give it, all this can go right in. So it becomes kind of like a form as well. So that's kind of a quick look at the survey. I created one very quickly. I used a theme. I threw a couple of questions on there. I previewed it, and I launched it. And this thing is now live. If anybody wanted to go to this, I'll put it in chat. It exists. You saw it doesn't really make any sense, but that's a working survey now. So let me show you the survey that we did yesterday. I sent this out. This is our live production system here. And there's my Z School survey. 6 people took it. So let's click on it. Let's see what we get for results. So it's given me some summary type data here. I'm at the summary screen. We had 6 responses. It was published yesterday. Last response was yesterday. 10 people visited it. I could see number of responses by day, and then there's a view of the questions. It doesn't really show you the logic of the questions, but just to give you an idea, this is what we asked. And so this is just a summary view. I can go to the summary of responses, and now this is all the responses aggregated into a view. And the first question I asked was email address, and I got 6 responses. I can actually click on this, and there's the answers I got. Then I asked people their last name, and I got 6 answers. Then I asked a question here called how useful are Z-School sessions? This was a 1 to 5 star scale, and 4 of you gave me 5 stars, not me, but the program 5 stars, and 1 gave 4, so 4.8. I can customize this view here. If I don't like pie charts, I can use, bar charts and save it. And so it looks like that now. I can also export this chart as a picture or as a PDF. To answer your question, AJ, way over here under export, I can export the entire survey report as a spreadsheet. I don't know what this is going to look like because we've uploaded pictures. To me, there's a lot of data in here that's not spreadsheet friendly, but let's export it. I'm not going to put a password on it. It says it's scheduled. Export section. This shouldn't take too long. It says it was scheduled. There it is right there. I'll down. I guess I cannot download it yet. It's requested. All right, we'll go back to reports. So I did want to show you guys on this thing. I put some logic. If anybody had given us a 1 or a 2, I asked, why the poor rating? What can we do better? But nobody did, so you didn't see that part. But if you gave a 5, I said, we love you too. Here's a picture of India. So you probably saw that. And one person said, nice. And then this one was most useful to me, but I listed a bunch of Zoho apps and I made you rank them as to what you want to learn most about. And so this graph's kind of little goofy, but here CRM was the #1 rank, and it averaged a score of 6.2 out of 8. And then Zoho Creator was kind of surprising, but some people wanted to see Creator. It's probably Bob. And additional comments. So again, I asked people, all good, thanks. John, I did that, the last name field, okay. And then we're demoing the file upload field. Please send us a picture. 4 people sent pictures. 2 people skipped this question. And again, I could have made the question mandatory, and so I got a handshake. This is John. He does these exotic fishing trips to like Spain and India and Africa and stuff. So that's him holding a fish. Somebody showed me that. And then somebody, I think, showed me grandchildren or a picture of 2 kids. And so that was the little, I just wanted to send you a sample survey update, refresh the survey results. My survey or the one we just created, AJ. I don't even know how to refresh this. Default. Well, anyway, I want to go on to the next thing. I actually have the individual responses here. So this is answer 1 was this guy named Scott. I got his IP address. When he did it, took him 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Looks like he's the one who said nice. There's his selections. So his name is Scott Patton. So what I want to do is I'm going to pull him up on my CRM. I'll show him in a minute. Just to show you the CRM integration. Down here under Zoho Survey, he's taken 1. And so I can see that he's taken surveys, whether they were sent or not, and he did respond. So I can actually click right within CRM and view his responses. And probably take a minute. I can also send a survey right out of CRM. So I can email him a link. Basically, it says send survey, and then it'll say which survey do you want to send him. And so I would pick the Z School one. And then that's going to open up an email, I believe. It sends the email out of Zoho. So it's going to have his email address and send him a link. And I would say, take this. We're not going to really do it, but I can send a survey right out of here if the survey's already been built. And then there's another weird feature here, which opens up other possibilities called take a survey. I could say I have him on the phone and I'm asking him questions. I could actually sit here and take the survey on his behalf. And what I mean is, you might say, how many trips a year do you take? And just put it in. And, what's your budget for advertising? And put in the answer. And you're actually filling in the survey as kind of a telemarketing script or as a phone qualification script. So he wouldn't be taking it, you'd be taking it, but you'd be filling in the questions as you go. It's just a kind of an interesting way to use this is if they answer no to this question, branch off and do this. If they answer yes, continue with this line of questioning. So that is, I don't know if I go to attachments here, he sent me that picture of that handshake. So the file he uploaded went into his CRM record. And so again, the survey you send could be send us a picture of the kitchen you want to do or whatever it is, whatever business you're in. So you guys took those surveys. I'll pick on John real quick. This is real data. I was looking at his record last night, and I could see that he filled out a survey back in 2017. So if I go to Zoho Survey, we sent out an ACT survey. At the time, he was an ACT user, and I can view his response for that. And if I go to attachments, the picture of him holding a fish is right there. So that was all based on yesterday's survey. And go to the summary and refresh it. Looks like AJ took it. Now I have 7 responses. Nope, still 6. Okay, must be the other one. So this survey can be used really forever. This is a big difference between this and a Zoho campaign. And a Zoho campaign, you build your newsletter, you throw in all your contacts, and then you send it. If a week from now you get 3 new leads and you want to send them that, you can't. That you have to create a new campaign, clone that template. The way around that would be to have an email template in CRM, and then you could just attach that and send it whenever you felt like it. But Zoho campaigns, once you build them, you saw how I could just go to anybody's record and say send survey and send them the survey link. Okay. So let's push this survey aside. Now that I've launched this one, we'll go back to the summary and so there's no responses. Oh, AJ, you had me refresh the survey. You didn't say which one. This one's okay. This was a bunch of silly questions. Then under reports, you have the standard reports I showed you, but there's also, you can write custom reports and create them. You can have trend reports as far as how many people are taking it or if the numbers are changing. So I view this as a pretty full function feature within Zoho. I don't think it gets used enough by people who have Zoho 1. There's just so much in there. And I think that'll wrap it up. I'll stop recording, and I took yesterday's survey, did not notice it in the email yesterday. Okay. I'll pull up your record and look at it. I want to stop recording just so people don't see you. I'm going to talk about one other quick feature for 5 minutes, but let's stop recording. Thank you, everyone. See you next week.